I got into the UK last year, last January. And before I got into the UK, I've always known about RKY careers, and I always knew that I was going to enroll for RKY careers. So 6 months to the end of my program, I eventually enrolled, and that has been like one of the best decisions I've made. And then I'm in Bournemouth University. I'm done now. My graduation is in November. I studied business analytics, and so enrolling with RKY helped me a lot in understanding better. I don't know if there are students here, but school is not really the best place to learn, and so that's like one of the best decisions that I made this year, enrolling for RKY. So that's just basically everything. I've spent almost 2 years in the UK, like a year and 6 months. Yeah, so. Before I came to the UK, I didn't have any experience about data. I studied economics for undergrad, and then I was working as a customer service advisor, so I had no experience about data analytics. And so enrolling in RKY was what really helped me to understand what data analytics is about. After I also did some personal trainings, but everything I use now at work was taught in RKY careers. Everything was basically covered. So that's why it was easy for me to just transition from like I didn't have any background at all. But now I'm like, they don't even know at work because it's not obvious, because everything is basically covered. Everything I use at work, Tableau, like Excel, everything was covered during the training. So that was how I was able to transition. But I didn't have any experience at all. No experience. So I know a lot of people are here as well, and they don't have any experience. Trust me, if you just do what you're supposed to do, be committed to the training. I'm not sure I missed any class during my time with RKY. I was really committed. I did all of my assignments, my projects, and here I am today. That was what really helped me transition. I started preparing like way before I even got any interview, since you also gave us some advice, some tips, like I think on our final class. So since that final class, I'd been preparing for my interview. A tip that I would like to give everyone is that you have to be confident. RKY had given us some tips to like the best way to pass interviews. I'd read and then watched interview videos, how best to answer questions. So I was able to answer everything really well. And it was supposed to be 2 stages, but after my first stage, they called me back and said I don't even have to do the second stage again. That they gave me the job. It was the same day that I did the interview that I got called back. So that's how good it was. So basically everything, I'm sure she'll have given you some tips. Just listen to whatever she says. She knows what she's doing, so just listen to her, and then do some personal training as well. Learn how the best way to answer questions, and then be very confident. That's like the only tip I can add to it. You just have to be very, very, very confident, and that's it. And prepare. I told you that I've been preparing before I even got any interview. So that was my first interview. So because I'd been preparing, I didn't even really, when I got the interview, I didn't really, like a week to the interview, I was just chilling. I was just revising, because I have a note where I write all my interview stuff. So I just basically took that book and I just revised, and that was it. So that was how I landed the job. I was even surprised because that was my first interview. I was thinking my first interview, I'll just use it to learn. So for the next one, I'll get ready. But I got the job.
Wow. Congratulations. How many months has it been now?
There's been like a month and a week.
Wow, just a month. It feels like it's been ages,
Yeah.
Congratulations once again. So yeah, how is it like on the job now? Culturally, how is it like on the job? Tell us what it is like on the job. You work where? I mean, I'm not sure you told us where you work.
Oh, it's JP Morgan.
Please, we want to know about JP Morgan.
Okay. So it's like an investment bank, and the department I am is network management. So we manage the relationships the bank has with other banks. So what I do is, the tools I use currently is Excel and Tableau, and then Ultrix as well. So to be honest, the Excel, everything I'm using in Excel is everything that was covered during the training. So I don't struggle to like fit in. Just last week, we had a test, like they gave us something to do with Excel, and we were three, only two of us were able to do it successfully. To be honest, if I had not taken the course, I wouldn't have been able to do it because it was just pivot tables, I think VLOOKUP as well. Like everything I'm using currently on the job is everything that was covered. In fact, I think RKY even covered more because I don't use everything. So it's not so different. In my opinion, I don't think it's so different because the projects that we did is even harder than what I do. For me, I don't know about other companies, but what I do, I don't really do too much. Just basic Excel stuff, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, find and replace. What else? Just basic things. And to be honest, in that, I used to think that it would be harder, like in real life. But now that I'm working, I'm like, I think it's not as hard. In my opinion, I don't know about other people. It's not as hard as the trainings that I had. So because I had like a detailed training from RKY, I'm able to like fit in. I had a meeting with my manager's boss on, I think, 2 days ago, and they said he just wanted to meet me. There has been hearing a lot of positive reviews about me, and I just started and just wants to meet who this person is, and that's all thanks to RKY and the team, because I'm able to like fit in perfectly, and I'm able to, the 5 years experience that I have on my CV, even though it's not like real, but I'm able to fit in without any issues. The job is, to be honest, not even as hard as the project and everything I had to do with RKY. So it's easy for me, and I think it should be easy for every other person in that role. So if you can just
Thank
focus on your training well, I think you're good.
Thank you so much. There's so many things that you said that I would love to reemphasize. Sometimes
Okay.
the interviews are harder than the job. Sometimes the trainings are also harder than the job. I know someone that got 2 visa sponsorship roles as a data analyst, and the only thing she uses at work is just
Mm-hmm.
SQL. She doesn't even use Excel. There's someone else. I mean, there are so many people that. But the thing is that during the interview stage, they might have tested more than that. And then when you get the job, you end up,
Yeah.
you end up what's it called, not using as much. But companies want people that can, I think I talked about this yesterday, people that are diverse and adaptable in case they're also trying to transition. So yes, well done, making RQI proud on the job as well. I mean,
Thank
it's
you.
not like we made up experience for you. We actually just highlighted transferable skills from your previous experience that showed that you were already analytical and you were already
Yeah.
analyzing data sets as well. So well done. Does anybody have questions for Ade Diwura before, I mean, I promise that we won't take too much of her time. It's Sunday, she's probably going to work tomorrow or she's working tomorrow.
Yeah.
So do you work from home?
I work from home 2 days a week, and then 3 days.
Okay, so do you want to tell us the nature of this job? Because you said you got it same day, was it
Yeah.
a permanent role? You know?
At the moment, when I got the job, it was like 12 months contract, but my manager was telling me last week that like we're like in the process of making it permanent already.
Thank you so much for that information. Because just before you joined, I was just because you're not the only. I know so many people like that. My mentees that got contract roles within 3 months, they got it turned to permanent. Shortly after that, they got
Yeah.
sponsorship as well. They got promotion as well. So, like I was saying as well, I'm not saying focus only on contract jobs, right? But if it looks like okay, I'm applying to these permanent roles, they're not forthcoming. Try to also explore contract roles. They are easier to
Yes.
get because their interview stages are always less. They're always less, and especially if you still have like a short-term right to work, right, before maybe your visa
Yeah.
expires or something. So explore that route as well. So thank you so much. I think we have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Damilari, I think. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, congratulations, Ziwara,
Thank
and
you.
we hope that one day we'll also be able to come on stage and then share with other new cohorts. And
We
then
will.
I also I'd like to say to our
We stopped hearing you, or I stopped hearing him.
Me too.
hear me.
We can hear
Yeah.
you now.
Oh, okay. So I also said, RKY, keep doing what you're doing. The sky is the starting point. We would hear about you all over the world, and then
Amen.
keep
Amen.
raising stars. So I wanted to check with you, Diora. You said the day you did the interview was the same day they called you back. What was the
Yeah.
interview like? What was the question? Was it just theoretical questions? Did you have to do some, lay your hands on some, Excel data sets? And how did you how did you do it? Were did they give you and like, okay, go do this and then come back to us, or did you have to go to their office, or just tell us, give us like a, like a summary of how it all went.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. So during the interview, I think the first question they asked me was something that was on my CV, like, how did you do this? I think it was, how did you gather data or something? So I explained that using SQL, you can use SQL to extract data from the company's database, and we had an SQL project. So I was able to talk about that project, that I was able to extract um data from different databases. So I think that was the first question. And then the other questions was Excel. She asked me some questions in Excel, VLOOKUP, like VLOOKUP, I think pivot tables. Then the third question was, she talked about my soft skills. Like, she was like, I understand that you have technical skills, but how do you want to like relate with senior management and all that? So I told her that I've had to relate with internal and external stakeholders, and also because I was working in customer service before, so I've been able to build my communication skills as well, my problem solving skills, and I've in also my data roles, I've also had to relate with different people, external stakeholders, internal stakeholders, and that was how I answered that question. I think she asked me like two more questions. Then the next stage was supposed to be a technical interview or something, but because of the way I explained the Excel questions, they just got back to me and said that they don't need to do the second stage. I seem like I know what I'm doing, because it was supposed to be first stage, then ask questions, and the second stage is going to be like they'll give me something to do, but they didn't bother during the second stage. So I don't know what the second stage will have looked like, but I didn't do any technical stuff. It was after that they were telling me that I was supposed to do a second stage, but they were just impressed with the way I answered the questions. I was answering the questions and I was giving them examples. So that was basically it. My interview, I think it was actually easy in my opinion. Did I answer the question?
Thank you,
Very well.
thank you,
Thank you.
Ura.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
think you did, and to add to what you have just said, she said, like I said earlier, contract roles are actually a steal, because usually that JP Morgan, for you to get a permanent role in that company, probably you'll have gone through 5 stages. You talk to partner, you talk to this, that. However, for contract roles, because they are mostly maybe very urgent roles that they want to fill, or interim roles that they don't want to really stress. But the thing is that those are ways that people get to sneak into these companies, and you get permanent positions and all that. So probably that's the reason why they skipped the technical stage for her. But most technical stages, having worked with a lot of people, are always very similar to this your projects they are working on, where they will just give you data sets to actually analyze. And I think one of the key things is also confidence. You need to like justify and be confident, even from phone interviews. The moment your CVs are out there already, I'm sure some of you might have already started getting calls. What did you do with RKY? You have to be able, because maybe RKY will probably be the only UK company on your CV. And the thing is that they found your CV fantastic. And probably because they are recruiters, they talk to millions of people every day, and they know that some people make up CVs, right? So they want to, first of all, hear that. Are you one of those that have put percentages? And just like she said, a CV attracted, and we did a CV as well, just like we've done yours, right? And they want to be sure that these things you're saying, can you back it up? Okay, you said you increased profitability or reduced income leakage by clinical percent. Tell us about, because the thing is, sometimes they're just genuinely, because I interview and I recruit as well, they're just genuinely interested in whatever it is that you have said you did, right? So you must be able to explain it. And that's why I will implore everybody to go back to complete their projects if they are here to do so, right? And to be confident to explain their experience, with RKY. Yes, RKY gets projects from different clients. I was allocated projects related to this, and you can choose the industry that is related to your previous experience so that you are stronger. Say, for instance, you were a customer service person before, so you can say that, oh, you did a lot of customer related data analysis, such that, okay, you can give examples that are related to your previous experience and blend it, because there must have been something they saw on your CV in the first place for them to even shortlist you, right? So I mean, in order not to keep Deora so we can go on, because this session that she's saying that we are having now is exactly what we also had during their set. Even I think it's richer now because during their set we didn't even have alumni come talk to us because at that time I think she was part of the first set or so. So we didn't have alumni. We just started bringing in people to talk to us as well. So thank you so much, Deora. I don't know if we have any other question for her before we let her go.
Okay, well, I have a question, but I would like to say that I'm very, very, very impressed by Dewora's comments about the courses so far. So I was not someone that is data inclined, but I'll say that I know Dewora, and I'm not sure she can remember who's talking. Anyway, this is Bumi, and I remember we came in together to have similar courses in
Oh my
business
god.
and finance. It's like I was
Let me see your face
surprised
now.
about this. Okay.
Oh my god.
Hold on
So
a
me and Bumi
second.
went to Beaumont University together.
So I think I'm really, really encouraged, and I believe that yes, I can do so well in data. Although I don't have any experience in it, just like she's talking
Yeah.
about it. And then honestly, I just want to commend RKY, and then to tell you that even if I'm not so serious with it, I need to get back to it and be very serious.
You have to. You have to.
Okay. Thank you, Bumi. I mean, you can see Adedura is someone you know personally. Reach out to her personally as well. We don't do audio success stories there. Any success story you see on our page or anybody you see us bring it, they are real people. In fact, we even have backlog of success stories that we are here to post. Why would we now be faking success stories? I don't know if it gets me. But anyways, is there any other person that have a question before we release Deura? Thank you so much, Deura, for coming.
You can
Okay, I think
share with us your LinkedIn on
My LinkedIn profile.
yes, please.
Adedura Ibitoye. I think that's it.
okay. So I think we have Ajin Anthony raising up his hand. Please go ahead to ask a question.
Yes, I would like to know like how many jobs did you apply for this, and during the interview you told like it was a 5 years experience they were asking. So how did you convince them that you had the 5 years of experience? Because you told you're a fresher. So how did you do this?
Well, I think they were convinced that I actually have 5 years experience because of how confident I was. I wasn't doing I knew what I was saying because I had worked on the project. I keep emphasizing on that. You have to do I did all of my assignments, I did all of my projects, I did it myself. So because I had like experience, I was able to confidently answer their questions. So they're like, an entry level person cannot be speaking like this. And I'd also watched how best people answer their questions. So to be honest, it's confidence that filled that gap for me because I obviously don't have 5 years experience in data analytics, even though I have experience in other fields, but not data analytics. But they were really convinced, and now they're still even convinced because I'm even doing better on the job than I did in the interview. So just confidence and then work on the projects. If you work on something, it will be easier for you to defend it than if you don't work on it, you won't know what to say. But if you worked on it, then it will be very easy for you to defend it. And
I think he also asked how many interviews, how many jobs you applied for before landing that
okay.
interview.
Before landing that interview, recruiters used to call me, but because of my visa type at the time, I didn't used to get the interviews because even the CV is good. Even though the CV is good, they'll be like, "Oh, do you have right to work?" And then I'll be like, "Oh, I'm currently on a student visa, but I can extend to was that post study after like 2 months when I'm done." But then they'll be like, "Oh, sorry, we need somebody that can work full time now." So because of that, I stopped for a while for like a month, and then immediately I finished my project, I started applying again. I think it was the next day that I got this interview. I can't really remember how many jobs I applied for, but it's recruiters that used to reach out to me, especially after my LinkedIn was optimized. They used to call me really like almost all the time. So I didn't really apply, to be honest. They used to reach out to me.
Sorry, Wurat, back to that question. Did you say you have 5 years in data analytics
Yeah.
or the 5 years?
Yeah.
So what she's trying to explain about the CV of 5 years is that she has 5 years professional experience as a whole. However, when we finished working on a CV, right, we identified transferable skills that were related to analysis and made that the major form of, I mean, I don't know if you get me. So even if it's customer service job, there are so many ways, there are so many customer related data. Like, I think we changed it to customer insights analyst, right? Which
Yeah.
she already gave us some things that are related to analysis that she did, right? And so we actually, what would I say? We identified or we emphasized mostly on that. I'm sure you won't have a problem with that because we already did your CV as well, right? Which, I mean, your CV should be tailored to the target role, right? So if you book the extensive package, we already did your CV. If you did not book the extensive package, you can still top up with the CV and LinkedIn service as well. You can see how instrumental it is in packaging and putting together all your experience to
Yeah.
present you as someone that has experience. I'll tell you something for a fact that no, but most people don't leave boot camps to apply for graduate roles. They leave boot camps, especially if you apply yourself. That's why we put all these projects and projects and projects, the drop-in sessions and all these things are there to enable you to like God, because the thing is, okay, I'll use real life experience now. For example, there was, I mean, I don't know if you know the situation in some countries now where a lot of people are traveling and leaving their jobs, right? Maybe before, if it will take you like maybe 3 years to gain some certain experience. Now, because there's shortage of people doing that role, people that are getting these jobs are getting like 5 years experience in just 6 months. And then they will now leave one bank to go and collect 2 levels higher. I don't know, for those that are in bank industry, they can be able to relate to this better. You know, say for instance, someone leaves a particular department, go to IT, spend 6 months in IT, but because of there's a lot of work to be done, the person does a lot of work within that 6 months and is able to get experience that people did not get in. So if you work under pressure a lot or something, you probably get more number of years of experience within the space of small months that you can defend, right? So I think that's what she's trying to explain. I don't know if that clarifies it. Okay, it looks like the interview, I mean, the guest speaker has now turned to interviewee now. Before we drill you too much and, stress you too much.
Hello,
Thank you
God's
so
baby.
much.
God's baby,
Good afternoon.
congratulations.
Good evening, sir.
Oh my
Good
God.
evening,
You know the word
congratulations.
too.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I know her.
Well, fantastic. And it was not even the facilitator of your sets. Well,
No, it
fantastic.
was me.
Anyways, you
Well
see, I
done.
mean,
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
all right, cool. All right, we need to get back to our own interview prep. Dura, thank you so much for making our time. And I want to believe that each and every one of you on this call as well, when you like a success story and I call on you as well, you'll be able to come up to come encourage others, to give back as well to the community. So thank you, Dura, for taking our time to be here. It's really nice to have you on
Ma.
board. Yeah, so I
Thank
wish
you,
you the
ma.
best
Thank
in your
you.
journey.
Thank
Continue to be a very good ambassador of RQY. Continue to when they see another person with RQY in that your company, be like, we have an RQY person here. Let's employ
Yeah.
this. Because it will be the other way around. If you get there and you don't perform well, it will be like a
Yeah.
red flag next time they hear of a RQY. Although I mean, you can't really blame a company for people not performing, anyways. But yes, still. Thank you for being a very good ambassador. Thank you for coming as well. Have a
Thank you,
great
ma.
evening. Like
Thank you.
most of you, I mean, she's busy with work and all that, but you already got her LinkedIn details. You can reach out to her if she has the time. However, we're even trying to merge the community of alumni together such that we can all leverage from our knowledge, right? So we're working on our alumni community platform as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Dura. Do you have any last words for us before you go?
Um, not too much, but you guys should just keep going and keep pushing. Eventually, you're going to have success stories as well. You have to be serious. You have to take it very seriously and listen to what they're telling you. Listen to whatever she says, whatever the facilitator says. It was not Mr. Shegu that was my facilitator. It was
Yeah.
another person, but I'm sure Mr. Shegu is equally very good. And listen to RQI as well. She's a very great person. And even when I needed the reference, she was really, really, really happy for me. And she, did it as fast as she could. So I'm just really grateful. It's one of the best decisions I've made. And I'm here to tell you guys that this is a decision you will not regret. Just take it very seriously. And if you're a religious person, you can pray as well. I love to pray. So that's basically what I have to say. And thank you so much for having me, ma. Thank you so much, everybody.